In this video lecture, we'll be studying about the basics of modulation and amplitude modulation. This is the basic block diagram of a communication system. There will be a source of a signal which will be transmitted via the transmitter, and this is where modulation will take place. The signal is transmitted through a channel like air, optical cable, twisted pair cable, etc. And while it is being transmitted, the signal can be affected by some external noises also. This signal, once it reaches the receiver, it has to be demodulated so as to get back the original signal, and then finally it will reach the destination. In the previous slide, we saw about a process called as modulation. Modulation is nothing but combining a low frequency signal with a high frequency signal. This low frequency signal is the actual signal which we have to transmit from source to destination, and this is called as source signal or baseband signal. But this signal does not have enough energy to carry a message signal, and also because it is of low frequency, it can be affected by other noises. So what we'll do is we'll combine it with a carrier signal which is of high frequency, and one of the characteristic of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. So that characteristic could be either amplitude, frequency, or phase, and this carrier will now be transmitted from the source to destination. Now this is the need to go for modulation. Modulation means the process of mixing a high frequency signal with a low frequency signal. The carrier wave or the high frequency signal will contain the information of the low frequency signal, and that is transmitted. So this need for modulation has been proved using several experiments, and these are few points why we need to go for this process itself. So first thing, by sending a high frequency signal, it helps us to reduce the size of the antenna. Then it helps us to broadcast several stations simultaneously. Then it permits multiplexing, that is, several signals can be transmitted through the channel without any mixing. The high frequency signal also reduces the amount of noise and interference present in it, and also modulation will help to reduce the noise in the signal, that is, the ratio of signal to noise would be very high. Next we will study about amplitude modulation or AM modulation. The amplitude of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. So this is a message signal. The maximum value of a message signal is EM, and the modulating signal or a message signal is represented by the small letter EM. Next we have a carrier wave which is of high frequency. It is represented by small letter EC, and the maximum value of that carrier frequency is EC. This is a final modulated AM wave. This is the main baseline, but a signal would be varying from EC, which is the maximum value of the carrier wave, and from there we can draw similar to that of the modulating signal EM. So here this is EC. So the maximum value here would be EC plus EM, which is the maximum value of the modulating wave, and similarly the minimum value would be EC minus EM, and this value is called as E minimum, and the maximum value here is called as E max. So the envelope would be in such a way that it is a mirror image on the top and bottom considering this main baseline. Now let us derive the expression for the amplitude modulated wave. If the message signal is given by small letter EM is equal to capital EM sine omega mt, which is the basic representation for any sine wave. So EM is the peak value and omega m be the angular frequency of that signal. Now next we have the carrier frequency or the carrier signal, which is given by EC is equal to EC sine omega ct, where capital EC is the peak value and omega c is the angular frequency of that signal. The resultant amplitude modulated signal is given by EAM, where AM represents amplitude modulation, is equal to, this is the peak value of the signal, into sine omega ct. The frequency of the carrier wave, as we saw, is not going to vary. So EC plus EM means the peak value of the amplitude modulated signal. So we can see that this is the amplitude modulated signal and this is the frequency, which is the same as that of the carrier frequency, which is not varying. So the sine omega ct is not going to change, and the maximum value of the signal is EC plus EM. So any wave we are going to represent using the maximum value into sine omega t. So here it will be EC plus EM into sine omega ct, where omega ct is the same frequency as that of the carrier wave. Now this small letter EM is the amplitude of the waveform, a main signal. So here we will replace small letter EM using EM sin omega mt, and we'll take EC as a common factor. So EC, when taken outside the bracket, we'll get 1 plus EM divided by EC. There is no EC in this term, so it will be EM by EC into sin omega mt into sin omega ct. And this term EM by EC, that is the maximum value of the modulating signal by maximum value of the carrier signal, we are going to represent by an important term called as modulation index, represented by small letter m. So EC into 1 plus EM by EC, we are going to replace by small letter m sin omega mt into sin omega ct. Now let's open the brackets. So we'll get EC into sin omega ct plus m EC into sin omega mt plus sin omega ct. Now we know that sin A into sin B is given by cos B minus A minus cos A plus B. So using that formula, we'll just expand this term and we'll get it like this. So we'll get EC sin omega ct plus EC by 2, because we have 1 by 2 in that trigonometric expression. So it will be EC m by 2 into cos omega ct minus omega mt minus EC m by 2 cos omega ct plus omega mt. So this is the final expression for amplitude modulated wave. Now if we check the components of an amplitude modulated wave, we can find that there are 3 terms in it. Okay, so we'll study about the first term. I'm talking about the final expression what we studied in the previous slide. It consists of 3 terms, and the first term is given by EC sin omega ct. So from this we can understand that this is same as the carrier wave. So the final amplitude modulated wave also contains a term which is the carrier wave. The maximum amplitude of that would be EC and the angular frequency would be omega c. So that is what is written in these 2 columns. Next we have a term called as EC m by 2 cos omega ct minus omega mt. This is the lower side band. It is called as a lower side band, and the amplitude of that would be EC m by 2 and the angular frequency would be omega ct minus omega mt. Similarly, we have a third and the final term which is given by EC m by 2 cos omega ct plus omega mt. So that is, the amplitude would be EC m by 2 and we have the angular frequency given by omega ct plus omega mt. So these are the 3 terms that we have over here. So we just studied about what these 3 terms are. The first term is the carrier component. Then we have what is called as the lower side band given by this expression. And we also have the upper side band given by this particular expression. So that is what the 3 components of the AM wave is all about. Next we have the frequency spectrum of AM wave. So frequency spectrum means we are going to plot the bandwidth against the amplitude of the 3 terms that we studied. So we saw that the final expression contains 3 terms. One is the lower side band, then we have the carrier component, and we also have the upper side band. So what is the amplitude of the lower side band? It is given by EC m by 2. And what is again the amplitude of the upper side band? It is given by MEC by 2. Then again, what is the frequency of lower side band? It is omega c minus omega m. So first thing what we'll draw is the middle one, which is a carrier component. Its amplitude is EC and its angular frequency is omega c. Next, what we have is the lower sideband. So the lower sideband will have some modulation index into EC by 2. We saw that that is the amplitude of it. So that will be a value that is much lesser than EC because M is always less than 1. And MEC by 2. Next we have its frequency. So if omega c is over here, omega c minus M would be a lower value. So we have the frequency over here, and again omega c plus M would be a value higher than omega c, so that would be plotted over here. Again, the amplitude of both LSB and USB is the same. So here we'll be having LSB and here we'll be having USB, and that value will be much lesser than that of EC. Now if we calculate the bandwidth, that is the frequency range starting from here to here, it is given by omega c plus omega M minus omega c minus omega M. So that is this term minus this term. So if we subtract these two terms, what we are left with is 2 times omega M. So this is the bandwidth of AM wave. Now in order to do some equations for the problems based on AM, we have 3 expressions. One is the first term, that is given by the total power content in an AM wave. There is a derivation for this, but we don't have to study in detail. It is given by power total is equal to power carrier into 1 plus M squared by 2. So this is the total power of the amplitude modulated wave. This is the power of the carrier component. This is the modulation index. And the second expression is M is equal to EM by EC, which we have already studied. There is also an alternate expression for M, which is given by Emax minus E minimum by Emax plus E minimum. That is from the wave. Now, I'd like to add a few points related with M. M is actually the modulation index, which is sometimes expressed by percentage, which is called as depth of modulation. This value M is always a value that is equal to 1 or less than 1. If it is very less than 1, then it is called as under modulation, and if it is greater than 1, it is called as over modulation. Now let's do certain problems based on amplitude modulation. If the carrier amplitude of an amplitude modulated wave is 5 volt and the message signal is 3 volt, then you are asked to find the modulation index. This was a KTU University question of December 2019 examination. So what is given in this is EM is given to be 3 volt, EC is given to be 5 volt, and you are asked to find out what is M. So you can substitute in this expression M is equal to EM by EC, and you will finally get it as 0.6. It is a unitless quantity. Next problem. The total power of an amplitude modulated wave is 500 watts and that of the carrier wave is 350 watt. You are asked to find the value of the modulation index and also the depth of modulation. So you can use the expression PT is equal to PC into 1 plus M squared by 2. So if the total power is equal to 500 watt and carrier power is equal to 350 watt, what is M? So you can substitute in this equation, rearrange and find the expression for M. So that is given by 0.9258. Now in order to find the depth of modulation, you just have to convert this into percentage, which is given by 92.58%. The last problem on this topic. For an amplitude modulated wave, the maximum amplitude is found to be 10 volt while the minimum amplitude is found to be 2 volt. You are asked to determine the modulation index. So we know that there is an alternate expression for M given by Emax minus E minimum by Emax plus E minimum. So if you substitute the values E minimum equal to 2 volt and Emax given as 10 volt, then you will get it as M is equal to 0.75. For the previous university questions, you can also refer to the description box below.